Around 2 p.m. local time Sunday, police pulled over Wright. The police chief says they stopped Daunte Wright because he had an expired registration on his license plate. The release footage begins minutes into the stop and shows police walking up to the car, and then Wright is seen stepping out of his vehicle. Police then tried to take Wright into custody after discovering he has an outstanding warrant. The video shows Wright begins to resist as cuffs are placed on him and he gets back into the vehicle.
As I watched the video and listened to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright. The officer is currently on administrative leave.
Wright drove several blocks before hitting another vehicle, according to police. Police and medical personnel attempted life-saving measures following the crash, but Wright died at the scene. I was using to CNN how Sunday night. Department swarmed police. Police also where businesses were City of Brooklyn on trial for the killing. Be transparent. It's hard.
They create a safe trying to do. Yeah.
Adrian, for the officer who is their status in the department?
The officer who shot Daunte Wright is on administrative leave, but members of the community are calling for her to be fired, and they're also asking, they say demanding, the chief of police in Brooklyn Center resign.
Wright's aunt spoke in an incredibly compelling interview with our colleague Don Lemon about her nephew, about what happened to him. Her words are nothing short of heartbreaking. Watch this.
Everybody's hurt. This is a young man that had life in front of him. He had a son. How can I explain that? I can't explain it. My family is hurt. You've seen his mother. And for 1 minute, y'all don't forget that my brother, he's there as well, his father. This is not a broken home. This is not a broken home. They've been together over 23 years. Over 23 years, they've been together. My brother has been there. Please do not disregard his feelings because my brother is in pain.
What went through your mind when you heard the police chief say that the officer fired the gun by mistake? She intended to use her taser.
You don't want to know. You really don't want to know what I felt. But I'm going to tell you like this.
And then next, right.
You know the difference from a fully loaded pistol versus a stun gun. You know the difference. And if you're a police officer, you should know that I seen that camera. I saw she held that gun out in front of her for a little while. You mean to tell me she didn't see it? But let me ask y'all something. How would y'all feel if y'all got the call that was your nephew, if that was your son, if that was your brother? How would y'all feel? then to sit here and people are trying to drag my nephew's name through the dirt, it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. He didn't deserve to die. My nephew was a damn good kid. He loved his family and we loved him. Accident? An accident? No, come on now. Everybody in this world saw that gun. You mean to tell me you thought it was a taser? I've owned over a 20,000 volt taser. They don't feel nothing like a gun. Nothing like a gun. So y'all tell me, how would y'all feel if y'all got that call? That was my nephew. That was my blood. That was like my heart. My brother is my heart. Katie is my heart. They took my man's life from him. My great nephew has to now grow up, not even knowing, not even being able to touch his father. You tell me, is it our right to take somebody's life over a misdemeanor warrant just for some weed? You got these politicians out here smoking weed. They ain't dead. You got all these people that just shot up the man that killed them Asian women. May they rest his soul. May they rest in peace. You got the people at the grocery store. You got the people in Bryan, Texas. You mean to tell me all three of them is still living? But my nephew is dead? Because now they want to use the justification of it was a mistake. You don't mistake a stun gun from a gun. You don't mistake that. If I made a mistake like that, I'll be in the jail cell. They'll be trying to put me under it. This not fair. We got several police officers and all in our family. I don't have nothing bad to say about them, but what I got to say is she needs to pay for what she did to my family. My family's blood is on their hands. My brother and my sister is hurting. How do we put life back together after this? Some people say, oh, it's God's plan. That was not God's plan. There's no peace in this. Say his name. Keep saying his name. My nephew did not deserve this. Daunte Wright did not deserve this. Katie Wright, Aubrey Wright, they did not deserve this.
Joining us now, CNN law enforcement analyst Charles Ramsey and CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Chief, what do you say to that? I mean, what do you say to Naisha Wright, who says, my nephew, Daunte Wright, did not deserve this? What do you say to that anguish, to that exhaustion we're hearing from her?
There is nothing you can say that'll make up for the pain and the loss that she feels right now. Absolutely nothing you can say. I've taken a hard look at the video to see exactly what took place, and she's right. I mean, there is a difference between a handgun and a taser, assuming they're using the model taser, not just in the weight and the size of it, but also the taser, which is a conducted electrical device, has a bright yellow handle on it. And when you look at the tape, you'll see one of the officers on their weak side. You see this flash of yellow. That's their taser. Again, another way to distinguish that from the handgun. But there were some tactical errors that were made in this, which I can get into if you would like. But there is absolutely nothing you can say that will lessen the pain that she feels and also that community.
Joey Jackson, why on earth was he even taken out of the car, told to get out of the car? I mean, the details that we know now for expired tags that the police chief of Brooklyn Center admitted yesterday in the press conference he and his staff knew there was a 2 or 3 month delay in getting those tags from the DMV, even if you'd already bought them because of COVID. Guess what happened to me when I got pulled over for expired tags, right? It's unbelievable that this aggressive tactic was taken from the beginning for that.
Yeah, it really is. Good morning, Poppy, John, and Chief Ramsey. Listen, I think the answer to your question lies in something we call discretion. And when you're on the street and you're doing your job, it's important that you exercise that discretion in a way that favors life, in a way that values the sanctity of life. We've heard that testimony, right, just last week from the very chief who is in charge of that department, talking about the values of the department and what they should instill, talking about the work and the outreach they need to do to the community. And you look at that, and it's totally counted to that. And I think there has to be some recognition, Poppy, and understanding that at the end of the bullet is a person whose life had meaning, value, and significance. Daunte Wright, a son, a brother, a nephew, a friend, so many things to so many. And so, you know, it's part of a whole larger discussion.